Hi everyone, welcome to Xcoding with Alvian. So this will basically a short video where I'm going to cover this new framework that just announced by Apple in the WWDC23 SwiftData, right? So basically SwiftData makes it easy to process data using declarative code. And you can query and filter data using regular Swift code. And it's designed to integrate seamlessly with Swift UI. Wow, that is very interesting, right? So this is the introduction site. If you see, we can just simply declare our model here using the new Swift macro, and we can provide a attribute using a macro. Automatic persistence integrates with Swift UI. Wow, just declare this query, property wrapper, and then basically it will get the receipts persisted from the disk and shown in the Swift UI list. This is amazing if you see, right? So yeah, this is the page, and basically now I'm going to show you what we are going to basically build in this. So here we have a node app, and basically we have a node. There are two entities, node and text. So basically you can create a node and then you can tag nodes with multiple tags in here. Maybe here you can tag it with multiple tags, save the node, and if you see here, this node, it's tags with Android, iOS, and Flutter. And if you go to the tag here, each of the tag is associated with the nodes, right? So basically node has many tags, and tags has a relationship where it has many nodes. So it's a many-to-many relationship between tags and nodes, right? So this is a quite complex relationship, right? That we are going to basically build using SwiftData, right? And as you can see, we're going to also learn about how to use the query, how to use the predicate in here. So we should be able to filter the tag or the nodes in here. If you see, it's able to filter the tag in here, right? So this is using the predicates in the query. And also in here I'm going to show you where we can also adjust the order by, whether we want the order by descending or ascending, if you see in here, right? So this is the thing that we are going to learn and build this video using SwiftData, right? Here for the nodes we can also, for example, I create a new node here, learn web. I'm going to tag with Firebase, save, okay. And in here we can whether filter by created at, also sort at, whether it's sorted by created at or the content. So this will be basically sorted by the property. So there are two properties in here, the content itself and the created at, if you see the timestamp here. And then we can also order it by descending or ascending, okay, and then filter it as well. So this is the thing that we are going to build and learn using SwiftData, okay. So basically building models with complex relationship, many to many, and learn how to use this query using a predicate, using a sort order, and also using the order by, okay. So let's begin. Okay, now let me just close this simulator. Let me also maximize this, and then let me open the new Xcode. So basically the requirement for you to follow this video is to download the Xcode 15. So currently it is in beta 1, right? Because it was just released like 2 days ago after the keynote, okay. So this will include the iOS 17 simulator as well. That will include the SwiftData framework for us to try, okay. Let's create a new project. I'm going to create an iOS application. For the product name, give it a name that you want. I'm going to just give it a name of node SwiftData, okay. So here, make sure to provide your organization identifier. Make sure Swift UI is selected, language is Swift. Okay, and just select none for the storage and uncheck include test and host in CloudKit. So save it anywhere you want. Okay, so there is it. I think the first thing that we need to learn is how to declare a model, right, using SwiftData. So let's take a look into the documentation here. I've also shared the link to this documentation at the description below. Okay, so this is the introduction, the overview. So basically, it's combining core data's proven persistence technology, right, and Swift modern concurrency feature. Okay, we don't need to read all of this overview. We just need to read these articles, I think, probably. Preserving your app models. Okay. Describe your model classes to SwiftData using framework markers. Okay. Okay, so the first thing, okay, this one, turn classes into models to make them persistable. Okay, let's begin by declaring the class for our node, right? So basically we need to annotate the model, the class, with this Swift macro model. Okay, and then here we need to declare all the properties. By default, SwiftData includes all the non-computer properties of a class, so it will persist all the non-computer properties as long as they are compatible types, such as primitive types, Boolean, integer, string, I think codable as well, right? Okay, so basically this will be the source of truth for the apps model layer, and it will be persisted by the SwiftData. Okay, we can also customize the attributes for each of the property here using this attribute, and I think we can provide several values such as unique, right, spotlight indexing, encryption, and many more, right? Okay, and this is the other. If we have two models, we can define a relationship using this macro, right? And we can also define the delete rules. I think we can use cascade, nullify as well. So in case of cascade, whenever we delete the related object, the relationship object, it will also cascade to the other object that it got linked with. Okay, also transient. I think this won't persist the data. This is just a transient. As you see in here, SwiftData won't write their values to the disk. Okay, I think let's begin by declaring the models first. Okay, for the node and the tag. Okay, in here, let me declare a folder. Give a name models. Declare a Swift file. I'm going to give it a name node first. Okay. So let's begin by declaring the node class using the Swift macro, right, model, and don't forget to import SwiftData in here. Okay, model and class node. Okay, and then basically for us, let's define a ID, unique ID. So let's use attribute here, and then let's pass unique as the property options. So I'm going to declare it with the name of ID. So let's make this as a string. Next one is the content itself, right? Content of the node. It's going to be string. And third one is the created at. It's going to be date. Okay, the created at timestamp, date, not data. Okay, and let's create a initializer for this. Okay, nice. So this is node, and then let's declare also tag inside this models folder. Okay, for this we need to also import SwiftData. Declare the model using Swift macro and declare that class tag. Okay, For the tag, I'm going to declare an attribute. Gonna make it unique as well as the property option. So as you see in here, right, let me just show you. So there's a encrypt external storage. This will persist the binary in a external storage probably. I'm not really sure about this, but I think in core data they have this kind of mechanism, right, for storing an image blob. Okay, preserve value and deletion, spotlight. It will be including the spotlight indexing, transformable, and other. So in this case, just use this unique, right? So it will enforce the unique constraint, right? So there won't be any duplicate two instances with the same ID in this tag. Now I'm going to also create a name for the tag. Let's make this string, second one. And I think for tag, let's make it simple, only these two, okay? So we have the node, we have the tag model, right? So basically what we want to achieve is we want to have too many relationship between the node and the tag, okay? Basically you can add a tag, multiple tags to a node, and basically when you add multiple tags by itself, that tag itself will have many associated nodes, right? That is a many-to-many relationship. So as you see, that is probably quite complex in terms of the object graph, right? To manage it manually. But using SwiftData, it just works like magic actually. That kind of things. Okay, let me show you, right? So there is, as you remember, there's a relationship, right? So relationship in here for the delete rule, in this case, the default value will be nullify. Okay, so I won't be using that. So I will, by default it is nullify. So we will just use the default value, which is nullify. And in here we declare nodes and also add this node, okay, array of node. Okay, so automatically it will basically create the relationship, the schema for us under the hood. And don't forget in here for many-to-many, we also need to add the relationship in here. Use the default nullify for the delete rule. And let's declare tags and let's set the type as the array of tag. So yeah, this automatically creates the many-to schema relationship between the node and the tags for us. But the thing that we need to add to make sure it is got persisted is this inverse, right? We need to add this inverse, at least for beta 1, okay? For the subsequent beta or the stable version, I'm not sure if this is needed or not. We need to add the inverse in here. So basically, the inverse for this is the tag.nodes, right? The inverse relationship. Okay, now the build succeeded. We have the many-to-many relationship between the tag and the nodes, okay? So we have the models, and now let's see the next one, what we need to do. Okay, this is done. We have the models. Configure the model storage. Before SwiftData can examine your models and generate the required schema, you need to tell it. So we need to tell it, okay, at the runtime, which model to persist, and optional the configuration to use for underlying storage, okay? So to set up the for storage, we can simply use this model container view modifier at the root level, I think, right? And then we need to pass the array of model types to persist. If you use the view modifier, add it at the very top of the view hierarchy, so all the nested views inherit the properly configured environments. Okay, this is for using SwiftUI. So, but if you're not using SwiftUI, I think you can use this. Maybe if you still use UIKit in your project, right? So let's add this. Let's go to the app, not SwiftData app.swift, and let's import SwiftData first. Okay, SwiftData. Let's put it above the SwiftUI import, and then in here, let's use the default one, model container for. So basically, if you see there's a that in memory, if you don't want to persist it, you just want to store that in memory, maybe in case you want to use it for testing purpose, right? You can pass the in memory to true in here. There's also is autosave enable, is under enable. Okay, let's just use the default value for them. Okay, now we need to pass the model container for. So let's pass an array of our models. We have two, which is not.self and tag.self. Okay, now we have the model container. Next, let's try to create our first step, which is the node list view, where we will show the list of nodes as well as a section to create a new node. Okay, let's do it. Okay, now let me create another folder, give it a name of views. Inside this views, just create a new CVI view and give it a name of node list view. Okay, inside this node list view, let's import SwiftData. Okay, so how can we fetch the data in here, node list view? Let's see. Okay, first to save the models, okay, which will be used for the creating the nodes, we need to add this environment, right? To manage instances of your model class runtime, use a model context, the object responsible for the in-memory model data and coordination with the model container to successfully process the data. So how can we get the context? Okay, we can use this environment property wrapper and pass the model context property wrapper. Okay, let's use this, declare this in here. We can basically call save in or delete to a particular instance of the model using this context. Okay, this is if you are not using core data, you can get the context using the container.main context. Okay, so to save the data, just initialize the model instance and then just invoke insert, passing the instance in here. Okay, and then call save. I want to know how can we fetch the models. Okay, so basically to fetch the models, we can use the query property wrapper. And here, as you see in this example, we can pass the sort by. So this is the property, start date, and the order by, whether it is ascending or descending. Not sure, they are calling it reverse and forward in here. Okay, I think this is very simple. Let's copy and paste and change it to what? To the nodes, right? So here is all trips. I'm going to change it to all nodes. Node. Okay, and we want to sort by created at, right? We have the created at, and actually we want to show it descending, right? So yeah, I think reverse is okay. So the recent one will be shown at the top. Okay, reverse. Okay, we have the environment, which can be used to insert, delete, and then we have the query. Okay, so now let's create the section to create the node in the body. So first, let me create a state in here for the text field, right? Not text. Okay, just assign it with the default empty string, and then in the body, let's begin by creating a list. Let me show you the real-time preview as well in here. Okay, we have a list. Let's declare a section in here, and let's put it inside a disclosure group so it can be expanded or collapsed. Create a node. Okay, and then let's have a text field with the prompt to enter text, and let's pass the binding, which is not text, and let's make it multi-line using the vertical axis. Okay, and so let's limit the line to probably 2 to 4, okay, of maximum lines using the range. And okay, we have this grid node which can be expanded or collapsed. Okay, nice. And let's declare a button, right? Button let's pass save as the title, and in here let's call save. Let's create a function called, let's use create node. Let's just name it create node. Okay, create node, function create node. So in the create node, first thing that we want to do is just basically initialize the node instance node. Okay, for the ID, let's just use the UUID to generate the unique UUID string, and the content, let's pass the content not text, and create that, let's just now. Okay, to get the current date. And next we can simply invoke context dot insert, passing the instance of the node SwiftData model. In here we need to save right after the insertion, and we can invoke context.save. This is a throwing one, but because this is just a prototype, a simple app, I'm just going to use try optional in here and ignore the error. Okay, but in your app, please make sure to handle the error correctly, right? This is just a sample app. Okay, that's it. We have the create node section containing the text field and the save button. Okay, the next one is we're now going to display the list of nodes that we can get from the query there. Let's create another section, and then in here I'm going to basically check if the node is empty. Okay, so this all nodes is an array. I'm going to basically use this content unavailable view. Okay, so this is new in SwiftUI 2023. We can just pass the title. Let's just pass you don't have any nodes yet. System image, let's use as a symbol of node. Nice, you don't have any nodes yet. Okay, and then in the else block we can simply use for each and pass the all nodes. Okay, I think this already conforms to the identifiable, so we don't need to worry. Okay, the build succeeded. Now to display the node, let's just display text. Let's put it in a VStack actually, with the alignment of leading. Okay, and then let's display the text, not the content, and then below that let's display the node created at using a style of time, and let's set the font for this created at to caption. Okay, so for this now let's just try this using the simulator. Okay, because we're going to do the insertion. Let's declare the node list view. It should be initialized. Okay, let's run the simulator. Okay, let me set it to full screen. Okay, so this is simulator. Let me properly resize it. Okay, let's try to create a node. Save. Nice, it successfully insert the node to the SwiftData context, and it is shown this in real time by the query. Okay, so basically this is amazing, right? As you see the code that we are writing, we are simply just using this query, and it automatically detects all the changes in the context for us. So anytime we insert the node, it will basically perform the query, observe it under the hood for us, and based on the sort by and as well as the order, it will be shown in this all nodes array. Magic, really amazing. Let's try again. Alfian, save. Nice, right? This is amazing. So if you remember, we are using the reverse order by, so it will show the letters at the top. Okay, now we have the node list view with the ability to show the nodes as well as creating the new node. Now I'm going to basically add the delete feature in here. So basically in the for each, we can basically attach this on delete. So when the user swipe on the row, they can delete the node. It will pass the index set for us. Okay, and basically for this index set, we can just use the for each, and let's name this as index. This will be the actual index, and in here we can invoke context.delete, and we can use the all nodes using the script to retrieve the element, okay, based on the index, and delete it from the context. And make sure after all the for each, we can just simply save this. Okay, try optional context save. Okay, let's build again. Let's see whether the model get persisted or not. Okay, the previous models got persisted because this is the new session. I just relaunched the app. Now let's try to delete. Nice. Amazing. Very minimal code, but a very impactful result. Okay, this is really amazing. I'm just loving it, this SwiftData actually. Okay, now we have the node list view. Let's just move on to create the next list, which is the tag list view. Okay, so we will have two tabs. One is for node and one is for the tags. Okay, so it should be SwiftUI view, not Swift view. SwiftUI view, tag list view. Okay, so basically we are going to mostly follow the same structure. We will have a section to create and also a section to show the list of the tags in here. So I'm going to mostly copy and paste some of the code and make some adjustment. Copy, paste. In here for the node, we don't have the created tag, we just have the name. Okay, just show this, and the order, it should be ascending, so I'm going to use forward. And then in here it should be all tags, and this should be array of tag. Okay, and then we have tag text instead of not text. And what else? Let's try to build. Oh, I think we need to import SwiftData, right? Okay, now the build succeeded. Now let's continue by copy and paste. Okay, let's copy and paste in here. Okay, so because this is just a sample project, let's just not to worry about the copy doing some of the repetitive tasks. Okay, this is just a sample project. In here let's make some adjustment, create a tag, and then it should be tag text, and then let's change this to create tag, and in here it should be all tags, and then let's change this. You don't have any tags yet, system image every symbol of tag, and then in for each it should be all tags, tag, and in here it should be tag dot name, and let's delete this tags for the created tag because tag doesn't have the created tag property. In here let's just change this to all tags to delete. Okay, in here let's change this to create tag method, and now let's change this. Let's initialize a tag instead of node. Tag. Oh, we haven't created the initializer for the tag. Oh no, we haven't actually. Okay, there you go, we have now. Let's also check for the node. I think for node we need to update the initializer. Okay, so it can also accept an array of tag. Okay, let's try to build. Probably some error in here. Okay, we haven't initialized the tag. For the ID, let's just use initialization ID with the UID string. Name we can get from the tag text state. For the nodes, let's just pass an empty node in here. Okay, let's insert the tag. On here, we need to update the create node. Okay, now it also accepts the tags. Now let's just pass empty. Okay, now we have two lists. One is for the node, one is for the tag. So let's adjust this in the content, the root app, not SwiftData app. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do, I want to basically declare two different properties for the node list. In here, I'm just going to declare node list view. Okay, and the second one is the tag list, some view, and then declare the tag list view. In here, now we can simply use the SwiftUI tab view. Okay, we have two tabs. First one is the node list view. Sorry, we are going to use the new var node list, and the second one is the tag list. Okay, there is it. Two tabs. Nice, right? Let's build. Okay, the build succeeded. First thing that I want to do is I want to wrap this in a navigation stack. This as well. Okay, and basically now we can add this tab item. In here we can initialize the label, title, it should be nodes, and for the image we are using, we can use SF symbol, system image, and let's use a node. Okay, let me copy paste for the tag list. Let's change this to tags and change this to system image of tag. Now we can add a navigation title, nodes, navigation title, tags. Okay, let's see the results in the simulator. Okay, looks good. We have the two tabs. One is nodes, and there is the navigation title, nodes, and then the tags. Okay, so let's try create tag, music, save. Okay, there is it, the new tag, and movie. Okay, I think we need to clear the text after we save the instance. Let's do it now. It's a bit weird if you don't clear the text after inserting. So in here, set the not text state back to empty string, as well as in this, set the tag text state back to empty string. Okay, now let's move on to the next task when we want to let the users of our app basically tag the node that they want to create with many tags. Okay, that's the thing that we need to do. So basically let's create a new UI in the create node section where we show the list of tags, and the user can basically add multiple tags, and added checked tags can be also associated with the created node. Okay, the first thing that I want to do is now go to the tag model. Okay, I'm going to create a transient property, so this transient property won't get persisted. Okay, as you remember in the documentation, I'm going to give it a name of is checked. Okay, so when the user tap on that particular tag, we are going to toggle this to true. Okay, so basically with that we should be able to check which text should be inserted right to the user nodes. Okay, now let's go to the node list view Swift. So to display the tag, I'm also going to create a query in here, the second query. Here I'm just going to use the name, okay, and the order will be forward, and I'm going to use all tags, and it's going to be an array of tag. Okay, let's build. Okay, so now inside this create node disclosure group, let's create a nested disclosure group again. Disclosure group below the enter text text field. Let's provide the title of tag width. Okay, and then in here let's check if all tags is empty. There are no tags. Let's just show a text. You don't have any text yet, please create one from text tab. Okay, let's set the foreground style to color.gray. Okay, that is if the text is empty. If not, then we're going to continue with the for each, passing all tags in here. Okay, should be tag in, and then here I'm going to use a h tag, show the tag name, and here I'm going to use the transient property. If the tag is checked, I'm going to declare a spacer, and I'm going to show a system image as a symbol of check mark dot circle, and I'm going to render it symbol rendering mode of multicolor. Okay, we have the h tag. Now I'm going to add a frame with the max width of infinity and alignment of leading. Okay, also going to add a content shape so all the area is tappable, passing rectangle. Okay, now I'm going to add an untap gesture. In here simply invoke tag is checked. So in this case, when it is checked, we want to uncheck. When it is unchecked, we want to check. So we can use the toggle. Okay, toggles the Boolean variable value. So it will switch to value, false to true or true to false. Okay, looks good. Now we need to update the Swift tag to basically show the tags as well. So here let's check if the node.tags.count is and it's not empty. Basically we're going to show a text. Let's use text colon and then plus. Let's use node.text and then map it to show the string. Okay, and then basically we're going to join it with the separator of just comma and space. Okay, and let's add a font of caption. Okay, now we need to basically associate the checked text with the node in here. So what we can do in the crowd node, let's declare a for text with an array of tag, empty tag, and then let's use all tags dot for each. In here you can use tag in, and you can check if the tag is checked. We're going to put it into this tags local variable array, and then append this tag. Okay, and then let's just set the tag is checked to false again. Okay, so basically this will check if this is true, it will append this to array, and then in this array we can pass this to the node. So this will basically associate the node with the text of array. Okay, okay, now let's try this. Okay, let's make sure. Okay, we have two tags in here. Now let's create a node, and for the text maybe by movie, latest movie. Okay, let's tag it with movie. Okay, as you can see, when we tap on this, it's going to toggle this tap gesture, and then it's going to toggle this. Okay, if you see, if you double click, it will check, uncheck, check, uncheck. Okay, it will invoke toggle. Okay, so we can select multiple tags. I share the node with a multiple tags. Okay, and let's save. Nice, if you see, right? Okay, let me try sample node. Let's tag it with 2 tags, movie and music. Save. If you see sample node tags, there are music and movie. Okay, this is nice. Now let's try to show the associated nodes inside this tags list view. Okay, let's navigate to the tag list view. Okay, so let's go to this for each all tags. So basically in here, I'm going to check if the tag.nodes.count greater than 0. Then I'm going to declare a disclosure group, passing the tag.name, passing a string interpolation of tag.name, and then I put inside a colon, and then I'm going to show tag.nodes.count. Okay, and basically inside the disclosure group, I'm going to just use for each tag.nodes in here, and then just show the node content, okay, in here. And also in here I'm going to add an else in here. So I don't think we need this fish tag. Let's just show the tags, the tag name, in case there are no nodes. Okay, we don't need to create a disclosure group. And basically in here I want to add another onDelete modifier. Okay, in case user performing a swipe to delete on the node. In here we can use index set in, and we can simply invoke index set for each index, invoke contacts.delete tag nodes array, and then pass the index using the subscript. Okay, and then in here let's try to save using try context.save. Okay, now let's try. Okay, we'll succeed it. Let's open the tag. Nice. Oh, we forgot the closing here. So latest movie is associated with the movie tag. Sample node is music and movies. Okay, so movie there are 2, sample node, and by latest movie. Music there is 1 associated node. Amazing, right? We have successfully created this many-to-many relationship, and node has many tags and tags has many nodes. Okay, this is really amazing. Let's try to delete the tag. Okay, it works. You see in here. Nice. Try to delete the music. The second tag. Whoa, it crashed. I don't know. Is it a bug? Is it a bug from the SwiftData beta 1? I'm not sure. But actually, I already encountered this. So basically, let me tell you the solution, at least for beta 1, right? So just by making this as an optional, right? This ID. Making this optional. And also the node. Okay. Making this optional as well. We can avoid this crash. I'm not really sure about why this is happening. Maybe because of the identity available in the list. But I don't know. It just crashed like that. Okay, so when we now try to create multiple tag again, let's try to make sure there are no crashes, right? When we delete the related tags, right? Music, movies, create 2, create node 1, let's put an association 2, Save. Okay, so let's try to delete in here. Delete. Okay, no crashes so far. Delete again, no crashes, right? So for now, that is the temporary solution. Just make the ID optional. Okay, it won't crashes when you delete the relationship between that model. Okay, so yeah, up until now we have successfully created the node, the tags, linking them with the many-to-many relationship. Now we are going to basically add a customization to the query property when we can provide our own order by and our own sort by customizable property. Okay, we're going to also add a search tags where we can use the predicate to filter the content in here. Okay, so basically one thing that we can see in here, right? So this is using the query property wrapper, right? So basically we want to customize this sort parameter and order parameter. Okay, but the problem is if we want to make the changes inside this not list view, right? Basically anytime we already initialize this, we cannot basically update the value. So let's say if we try to, let me just show you an example, right? So this is the query, right? The all nodes, this is the query, right? So actually we can access the underlying value using this underscore. Okay, so this is query, and basically we cannot reassign this because this self itself is a struct, so it is immutable. Okay, and there's no way we can basically update the sort, update the order by. So basically we need to find a way where we need to do it in above this not list view parent. Basically we need to we need to pass the query, the initializer passing the query containing the sort and the order by that we want. Okay, so we need to do it inside this app, right? Because the parent of this not list view is inside this SwiftData app. So inside here, if you see, so we can basically pass the all nodes or all text parameter, right? So basically we will need to do the updates in here. We will basically provide the query containing the sort and the order by that the user selected. Okay, so now let's implement this. This can be a bit tricky, but we should be able to do it. Okay, just follow me along and you will understand on how to do it by the end of this video. First thing that I want to do is just to create a new Swift file. And let's give it a name of filters. Okay, in here I'm just going to create new enum that will help us. For is the not sort by. First, let's make this conform to identifiable and case iterable. We will use this for the sort by for the not list view. So as you remember that the not model, it has two parameters, created at and content, right? So we are going to use that. Let the user select either one of them, so it can be used by the sort by parameter. Can pass that to the query property wrapper. Okay, to in the not list view. Second one is content. Let's also create a text string. This will be shown in the UI. First one is created that. Here we can just return a string created that. Second case content. Here we can just return content. Okay. Okay, this is for the not sort by. Now let's create an enum for the order by. Okay. So actually Apple already provided forward and reverse it, but I don't think that can be put. We can conform identifiable using an extension for that. So let's just declare another one. Self in here. And here case ascending and then case descending. Okay, ascending is forward, descending is reverse. Okay, and then for text string switch self scanning. Okay, just return the string scanning return string of descending k. Okay, we'll succeed it. Now let's navigate to the Node SwiftData app to start the implementation. Okay, so first let's default several states that we are going to use. First one is I'm going to also show a search text at the top of the list where the user can type, and then we will basically filter the text. For the node we are going to use the content, for the tag we are going to filter by the name property. Okay, so let's declare the state node search text, and it will be string, the default value of empty. Second one is not sort by. This will be the enum. Let's provide the default value of not sort by the content, and stat var not ordered by. Sorry, I think for the not sort by I'm going to use created path for the initial value, and the order by I'm going to use reverse. Sorry, it's going to be descending. Okay, so this will be the initial sort by on order by, created at and descending when the user launch the app. Second one, as the fourth state is going to be the tag search text. Okay, just an string. So let me make this consistent. Remove this type, explicit type for the not search text. And for the tag, we only have the tag order by. Okay, we don't have the sort by because we only have from property. This is going to be order by ascending for the default value. Did I miss something? Okay, we'll succeed it. Now we have all the 5 states. Okay, let's begin by going to the node list view. Let's attach a searchable modifier, searchable text. Okay, for the text we can simply pass not search text. For the prompt, just this search. And for this I'm going to add a text input capitalization. I want to remove the auto capitalization for this. Can be could be distracting. Okay, next we want to show the menu picker at the top of navigation bar, leading and trailing. So for that we can use the toolbar, attach a toolbar to this not list view. Okay, let's begin by the toolbar. Let's begin passing the toolbar item with the placement of top bar leading. Okay, in here we will have a menu. Okay, and with the label of, I'm going to just declare a label. For the title I'm going to pass not sort by the text, and system image of, let me type this, line dot horizontal dot 3 dot decrease dot circle. Okay, that is for the icon. Next one is the, let's declare a picker. Okay, sort by, and for the binding it's going to be not sort by state. In here we can simply use for each, passing not sort by all cases. Okay, you already make it conform to case iterable, and then here passing 0 the text, and let's attach the ID for this so it can be binded properly to the not sort by. Okay, we have the sort by. I want to copy and paste because I don't want to type again. In here I'm going to change the placement to top bar trailing. Here is going to be order by, and then here the state is going to be not order by. This as well is going to be not order by. It's not order by, it's order by enum all cases because it's used for both tags and nodes. Okay, okay, this is same the text. This one should be not ordered by the text, And for the system image, for the order by, I'm going to use arrow.up.arrow.down. Okay, we have the UI. Now let's create a computed property to generate the query. Okay, let's give a name of not list query. So the type will be query, and the first generic placeholder, it's going to be a node with the result of node array, right? So this is the actual in model, and this is the result, which is an array of node. Okay, for that query. So first, let's declare a sort order. Okay, sort order. In here we can check using ternary, not order by. In case it's ascending, we're going to use forward, and else it's going to be reverse for the descending. Okay, second one is for the predicate. Let's declare a predicate of node. Okay, optional. And then in here, let's check in here if the node search text not, remember this, there's not there. Let's try to trim this characters in white, trimming characters in white spaces and new lines. Okay, and let's check if this is not empty, right? In this case, we're going to assign the predicate with init. So this is new in SwiftUI. To create a predicate, we need to use the predicate macro. Okay, and then in body, basically it will pass us the model instance. So basically here we can use content dot. We can basically call localize case insensitive contents, right? We want to check whether this text contain this not search text, right? So comparing it with the insensitive character, right? But actually, I think as of the beta 1, this is very limited. Basically, we cannot do this. I'm not sure why. The function is not supporting this predicate from macro predicate. So I don't know until this is fixed, or maybe I'm using it wrong. Maybe you can comment in the description below. I'm just going to compare it naively. I want to compare using the insensitive case. Just going to check if the content contains this search text, not search text. Okay, if this you're using this, I think it won't have an issue. Okay, yeah, this works, right? And now let's continue. If not sort by equal to content, and then else. In here we can return a query, and then initialize a query. Okay, here we can pass the predicate in here, and therefore for the sort we can pass the key path. So if the not sort by is content, we can pass the key path of content, and for the order we can pass the sort order. Okay, let me copy paste this. In here I'm going to change to update created at. Okay, because there are only two possibilities, right, for this not sort by content or created at. So basically I'm trying to also using ternary in this sort, right, because I don't want to use this if else, but I don't know, it gives me an error when I try to do that. But for now this should work. Okay, so in here we can simply pass the not list. When we initialize the not list view in the all nodes, we can pass the computed property not list query. Okay, so basically whenever we change one of these, it's should basically trigger the not list view and then pass the latest not list query. Okay, let's try to check the result. Build it. Okay, let's start from the content, right? Let's sort by content. Nice. And then let's make it ascending. Nice. 1 2 by, and then S. Descending. Created that descending. created that ascending. Amazing, right? The power of this query from SwiftData. Basically, we can provide the sort order, the predicate, and also the order by. And also there's another abstraction where we can also pass a fetch descriptor, right? So basically, if you use fetch descriptor, you can basically provide additional configurations such as the fetch limit, fetch offset, right? You can also pass the sort order predicate in there. But in this video, to make it simple, I won't be using fetch descriptor, okay? But just to give you an information if you want to use fetch descriptor for customizability, okay? Okay, so one thing that I forgot in here, the save button. Basically, I want to control the state. I want to disable this in case this text is empty, right? I forget to do it. So before I finish the video without telling you, let me edit now. So add a disable modifier in here. If the not text, I'm going to disable this in case the trimming crashes in white spaces and new lines for the not text is empty. Okay, let's do the same for the tag list view. Create tag for this button, but in this case let's change this to tag text. So as you can see, it will be disabled, right, because this is empty, and it will be only enabled if there's a character in there. Okay, now one more thing finally for the tag list. Okay, actually I haven't shown you the search, the filtering by the text, right? So let's me try sample. Okay, it filtered correctly, right? By. Okay, but actually I don't know, because of that predicate issue we cannot use the case insensitive compare, so it's not working as expected. But for now, until then, this should work. Let's see if there's a trick or maybe it's a bug from the beta 1. Okay, because I'm thinking that is quite limited, right? We cannot call any global function inside this predicate macro. Okay, for the tag list query, I'm going to just copy, paste, change this to tag list query, change this to tag, an array of tag. Okay, here make sure to change to tag search text. Here tag search text as well, and here we don't have the sort by, so we can just return the query. For the sort, it should be just the name of the tag. Okay, for the key path, I think that's it for the tag list query. Okay, build failed. What? Oh, sorry, this should be tag for the predicate, and this should be named inside the macro, predicate macro. Okay, finally we need to pass this in the at least tag list. Okay, it's here, all tags, passing tag list query. Okay, looks good. Let's check. Let's create several tags: music, movie, entertainment, work. Okay. I really just forget about adding toolbar, right? Let's copy this, the toolbar leading, and navigate to tag list. In here, below navigation title, let's add a toolbar. Placement. Okay, in here make sure to change to tag order by. It should be tag order by text. Okay. One more thing I forgot in here before we make the mistake. This should be tag order by. Okay, check. Okay, currently this is ascending. Let's change to descending. Ah, nice. So descending starting from WMME, right? Ascending starting from entertainment, movies, and work. Okay, that's it for this SwiftData. As you can see, we have successfully played around creating this like a prototype app, right? To learn about using SwiftData in a practical way by building an application where it has this many-to-many schema relationship between node and text. Okay, so I think SwiftData is really amazing. It provides us the ability to create a complex offline application that we can use in the client, and then maybe using that complex model graph we can sync it later. So this is really interesting, this CloudKit syncing. Maybe I can create a video on exploring using this CloudKit syncing, right? So it will sync the data in the client automatically to the CloudKit. Yeah, that's it for this video, and have a great WWDC rest of this WWDC23. I think there are still a lot of great frameworks, great new APIs being released by Apple. And maybe if I can try to pick one more interesting topic, I can create one more quick video about it. But I think one of the most interesting thing is this SwiftData. I never expected Apple will release this this WWDC23. This is really a game changer, okay? And yes, until the next video, keep on being a lifelong learner, keep on learning, keep on building, keep on doing the things that you love, okay? So like the video if you like, subscribe if you haven't. Until the next one, goodbye.